A warning from history. In the ruins of a shattered Berlin bunker in April 1945, the most powerful man in Europe sat alone, defeated, paranoid, and broken. Adolf Hitler, once worshipped by millions, feared by nations, and obeyed without question, had fallen. But this story does not begin with power. It begins with failure. It begins with a homeless man sleeping in shelters, a rejected artist, a forgotten soldier. This is the story of how Adolf Hitler rose from complete obscurity to absolute power, and how that power ultimately destroyed him, his nation, and millions of lives. This is not a story of destiny. It is a story of opportunity, manipulation, fear, and silence. And it is a warning. Part 1, a broken, beginning 1889 to 1918. Adolf Hitler was born on April 20th, 1889, in Branawam, in a small border town in Austria. He was not born into wealth or influence. His father, Alois Hitler, was a strict customs official, controlling, authoritarian, and emotionally distant. His mother, Clara, was gentle and deeply devoted to her son. From an early age, Hitler struggled with authority. He performed poorly in school and clashed constantly with teachers. He dreamed not of politics or leadership, but of becoming an artist. In 1907, Hitler moved to Vienna, confident he would be accepted into the prestigious Academy of Fine Arts. He was rejected not once, but twice. This failure crushed him. Penniless and humiliated, Hitler drifted through Vienna, living in shelters, selling small paintings, and absorbing radical political ideas. Vienna at the time was a city of intense nationalism, ethnic tension, and growing anti-Semitism. These ideas found fertile ground in a young man searching for someone to blame for his failures. But Hitler was still nobody. In 1914, everything changed. World War I erupted, and Hitler volunteered for the German army. For the first time in his life, he felt purpose. He served as a messenger on the Western Front, witnessing death, destruction, and chaos. He was wounded twice and awarded the Iron Cross in honor he cherished deeply. When Germany surrendered in 1918, Hitler was devastated. The war had given his life meaning. Its end left him lost again. But this time he had found an enemy. Part 2. The Seeds of Radicalization, 1919 to 1923. Germany emerged from World War I, humiliated and broken. The Treaty of Versailles stripped the nation of territory, imposed crushing reparations, and blamed Germany entirely for the war. Inflation, sore jobs beneath, national pride collapsed. Into this chaos stepped Adolf Hitler. In 1919, Hitler joined a small extremist group called the German Workers' Party. At first, he was insignificant, just another angry speaker. But he possessed something rare, an ability to command attention. His speeches were emotional, theatrical, and fueled by rage. He spoke of betrayal, national humiliation, and lost greatness. He blamed Jews, communists, and politicians for Germany's suffering. People listened. By 1921, Hitler had taken control of the party, renaming it the National Socialist German Workers' Party, the Nazi Party. He adopted powerful symbols: the swastika, uniforms, flags, and mass rallies. He understood something critical: politics was not about policy, but emotion. In 1923, inspired by Mussolini's March on Rome, Hitler attempted to seize power in Munich in what became known as the Beer Hall Putsch. It failed. Hitler was arrested and sentenced to prison, but this failure would become his greatest opportunity. Part 3. Prison, Propaganda, and a New Strategy, 1924 to 1929. Hitler served less than a year in prison. During his incarceration, he wrote Mein Kampf, a book outlining his ideology: extreme nationalism, anti-Semitism, authoritarianism, and the belief in a racially pure German state. More importantly, Hitler learned a crucial lesson: violence alone would not bring him power. He would use the system itself. Upon release, Hitler rebuilt the Nazi Party with discipline and strategy. He focused on propaganda, legal elections, and mass appeal. For several years, the Nazis remained politically marginal. Then, in 1929, the world collapsed again. Part 4. The perfect storm, 1929 to 1933, the Great Depression hit Germany with devastating force. Banks collapsed. Unemployment soared to over 6 million. Desperation spread like wildfire. Democracy appeared weak and ineffective. Hitler offered something simple: certainty. He promised jobs, pride, unity, and revenge against those he blamed for Germany's suffering. Nazi propaganda portrayed him as a strong leader who would restore order. His message was tailored to every group. 2 workers. Economic revival. 2 businessmen. Stability to nationalists. Restored greatness to the fearful protection in 1932. The Nazi Party became the largest party in the German parliament. Still, Hitler did not yet control the government, but conservative elites believed they could control him. They were wrong. On January 30th, 1933, Adolf Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany. Democracy had legally handed him power. Part 5. The destruction of democracy, 1933-1934. Once in office, Hitler moved quickly. A suspicious fire at the German parliament building 2 Reichstag was blamed on communists. Hitler used the crisis to suspend civil liberties, arrest opponents, and silence dissent. Fear became a weapon. Through intimidation, propaganda, and political maneuvering, Hitler passed the Enabling Act, granting him the power to rule by decree. Germany was no longer a democracy. Political parties were banned. Trade unions dissolved. The press was controlled. Opponents vanished. When President Paul von Hindenburg died in 1934, Hitler merged the offices of Chancellor and President. He became Führer, leader of Germany. The army swore loyalty not to the Constitution, but to Hitler himself. Absolute power had been achieved. Part 6. The Cult of Hitler, 1934 to 1939 under Hitler. Germany was transformed into a totalitarian state. Every aspect of life was controlled. Education taught loyalty to the foreign media glorified. The regime children were enrolled in the Hitler Youth. Art, culture, and science were politicized. The regime delivered visible successes: massive public works, declining unemployment, and many Germans supported Hitler, believing he had restored national pride. But this prosperity came at a cost. Jews were stripped of rights, businesses, and citizenship. Laws legalized discrimination. Violence escalated into open terror. Meanwhile, Hitler pursued expansion. He remilitarized the Rhineland, annexed Austria, and demanded territory from neighboring nations. The world responded with appeasement. Each success fed Hitler's confidence. He believed himself unstoppable. Part 7. War and Hubris, 1939 to 1942. In September 1939, Hitler invaded Poland. World War II began. Early victories were stunning. France fell in weeks. Much of Europe was under Nazi control. Hitler stood at the height of his power, but hubris clouded judgment. In 1941, Hitler made his greatest mistake invading the Soviet Union. The campaign dragged on. Resources drained. Winter struck. At the same time, the United States entered the war. Germany now faced enemies on multiple fronts. The tide began to turn. Part 8. The beginning of the end, 1944-1944 defeat. At Stalingrad shattered the myth of Nazi invincibility. Millions were dead. Cities burned under Allied bombing. Hitler responded not with adaptation but denial. He fired generals, micromanaged military strategy, and refused retreats. His health deteriorated. Paranoia increased, even as Germany collapsed. Hitler demanded total loyalty. In 1944, an assassination attempt by German officers nearly succeeded. Hitler survived and unleashed brutal reprisals. The regime was crumbling, but Hitler refused to surrender. Part 9. The Final Bunker, 1945. By April 1945, Berlin was surrounded. Soviet troops closed in. The Third Reich lay in ruins. Hitler retreated underground. Into bunker, isolated and delusional, he spoke of imaginary armies and betrayal. The man who once commanded millions could no longer command reality. On April 30th, 1945, Adolf Hitler committed suicide. His empire lasted 12 years. Its consequences lasted generations. Conclusion: the lesson: Hitler did not rise because he was inevitable. He rose because institutions failed, because fear was manipulated, because hatred was normalized, because ordinary people believed it couldn't happen to them. His fall reminds us that absolute power built on lies will always collapse, but not before causing immense suffering. History does not repeat itself exactly, but it rhymes. And the story of Adolf Hitler remains one of its darkest warnings.